In a moment that sent shockwaves across the global entertainment industry, Park Jimin of BTS has once again become the center of worldwide attention. Known for his artistry, emotional depth, and carefully guarded private life, Jimin is now the subject of intense international media coverage following reports that he has revealed thoughts and plans about marriage. Within minutes, headlines erupted across Asia, North America, Europe, and beyond, transforming what began as a quiet statement into one of the most discussed celebrity moments of the year. For an artist who has spent over a decade under the brightest spotlight in the music industry, Jimin's words carried unusual weight. Marriage, a topic rarely addressed directly by K-pop idols at the height of their careers, has long been considered sensitive, even controversial. Yet, this time, the conversation was unavoidable. Fans, media outlets, cultural commentators, and industry insiders all reacted simultaneously, each interpreting Jimin's revelation through their own lens. A global star at a personal crossroads. Jimin's journey from a young trainee in Busan to one of the most recognizable faces in global pop culture is well documented. As a member of BTS, he helped redefine what a Korean group could achieve on the world stage, breaking records, selling out stadiums, and reshaping global perceptions of K-pop. Along the way, Jimin cultivated an image that balanced vulnerability with professionalism, warmth with discipline. Despite this openness on stage, Jimin has remained intensely private about his personal life. Romantic relationships, family matters, and future plans have largely stayed behind closed doors. That is precisely why the recent discussion about marriage resonated so deeply. To many fans, it felt like a rare glimpse into the future of man they watched grow up before their eyes. International media framed the moment as a turning point, not just for Jimin, but for the broader idol culture. The idea that a global superstar could openly acknowledge marriage as part of his life plan challenged long-standing norms within the industry. How the story broke. The story first gained traction after Jimin made a reflective comment during a public-facing moment, interpreted by many as a confirmation that marriage is something he has seriously considered. Although his words were calm and measured, the impact was explosive. Entertainment portals rapidly translated and republished the statement, while social media platforms amplified it at lightning speed. Within hours, major outlets in South Korea, Japan, the United States, and Europe were running variations of the same headline: Jimin marriage future. Analysts dissected every phrase, while fans replayed clips repeatedly, searching for hidden meanings. Some praised his honesty and maturity, while others expressed shock at hearing such a topic discussed so openly. What stood out most was the tone of the coverage. Rather than scandal or controversy, much of the international response focused on respect, curiosity, and cultural reflection. Jimin's words were not sensational in themselves, yet the global reaction underscored just how influential his voice has become. Fan reactions support emotion and reflection. The BTS fandom, known globally as ARMY, reacted with an emotional mix of surprise and support. Social media platforms filled with messages expressing pride, gratitude, and unconditional encouragement. For many fans, Jimin's openness was seen as a sign of trust, an acknowledgement that he felt safe enough to share personal thoughts with the world. Some fans admitted feeling conflicted emotions. After all, BTS has been a constant presence in their lives for years, and the idea of marriage symbolized change. Yet the overwhelming sentiment leaned toward acceptance. Many emphasize that Jimin deserved happiness, stability, and personal fulfillment beyond his career. Fan communities organized discussions not just about Jimin, but about broader themes such as growing older with idols, respecting boundaries, and redefining the relationship between celebrities and their audiences. In this way, Jimin's statement became more than celebrity news. It became a cultural conversation. International media analysis. Western media outlets approached the story from a socio-cultural perspective. Articles explored how K-pop idols are often expected to delay or hide personal milestones, contrasting this with Western pop culture, where artists openly discuss relationships and family plans. Jimin's situation was frequently cited as an example of shifting norms in the global music industry. Meanwhile, Asian media focused on the emotional significance of the moment. Commentators highlighted Jimin's age, career achievements, and personal growth, framing marriage as a natural topic for someone at his stage of life. Rather than framing the news as shocking, many outlets treated it as a thoughtful reflection from a mature artist. In both cases, the tone remained largely respectful. Jimin was portrayed not as an idol breaking rules, but as an individual navigating adulthood under extraordinary circumstances. Industry impact and cultural implications. Jimin's marriage-related comments sparked renewed debate within the entertainment industry. Producers, managers, and cultural critics began discussing whether the rigid expectations placed on idols are sustainable in an increasingly globalized market. As K-pop continues to expand internationally, the industry faces pressure to adapt to different cultural attitudes toward privacy, relationships, and personal freedom. Some industry insiders suggested that moments like this could pave the way for greater transparency and humanity in idol culture. Allowing artists to speak honestly about their lives could strengthen fan relationships rather than weaken them. Others, however, cautioned that change would be slow, given the commercial structures still in place. Regardless of the outcome, Jimin's influence ensured that the conversation would not fade quickly. When someone of his stature speaks, the industry listens. Jimin's image, artist first, individual always. Throughout his career, Jimin has been praised for his emotional intelligence and sincerity. Whether through music, interviews, or performances, he consistently communicates a deep awareness of self and others. This reputation played a significant role in how his marriage-related remarks were received. Rather than sparking outrage, his words were largely interpreted as thoughtful and measured. Observers noted that Jimin did not make grand declarations or dramatic announcements. Instead, he spoke calmly, emphasizing personal growth and the natural progression of life. This approach reinforced the image many already held of him, an artist who values authenticity over spectacle. In an industry often driven by image control, that authenticity has become one of Jimin's defining strengths. The broader BTS context. As members of BTS pursue individual activities alongside group commitments, public attention has increasingly turned toward their personal futures. Military service, solo projects, and long-term aspirations have all become topics of interest. Jimin's comments about marriage fit into this broader narrative of transition and maturity. For fans, it is a reminder that BTS is not frozen in time. The members are growing, evolving, and envisioning futures that extend beyond the stage. While the group's bond remains central, each member's individual journey is equally important. International media often frame Jimin's statement as symbolic of this new chapter, not an ending, but an evolution. Privacy, respect, and the future. Despite the intense attention, many voices call for restraint and respect. Fans and commentators alike emphasize that discussing marriage does not obligate Jimin to share details or timelines. His private life, they argued, should remain his own. This sentiment reflected growing awareness within fandom culture. Loving an artist does not mean owning their personal choices. Jimin's situation became a case study in how public figures and audiences can coexist with mutual respect. As days passed, the initial frenzy began to settle into quieter reflection. The headlines softened, discussions became more nuanced, and attention gradually shifted back to Jimin's artistry and ongoing projects. A moment that will be remembered. Whether or not Jimin ever chooses to share more about his personal life, this moment has already left a mark. It demonstrated the power of a few sincere words spoken by a global icon. It revealed the emotional connection between Jimin and millions of fans worldwide, and it highlighted an industry in transition, slowly redefining its relationship with humanity and truth. In the end, the story was not truly about marriage. It was about growth, honesty, and the courage to acknowledge the future, whatever shape it may take. Jimin did not announce a wedding or set a date. He simply allowed the world to see him as a person contemplating life beyond the spotlight. For international media, it was headline news. For fans, it was a moment of reflection. And for Jimin himself, it may have been nothing more than a quiet step forward on a long and deeply personal journey. One thing is certain. When Part Jimin speaks, the world listens, and sometimes it listens not for spectacle, but for humanity.